Okay, so I'm Mark Strice, and I'm here to demonstrate a field strip for my gunsmith tool class. Now, with this particular gun, this is not a gun that I'm very familiar with. I just want to let you know that I do have other firearms. I actually do have two CZ75s. One is a shortened version or a compact, and this is the full-size version. So what I'm going to do is real quick here. I have in front of me, I do have the owner's manual for a CZ75, but not the BD. The field stripping is relatively the same. For field stripping, it is. Some of the other information in the owner's manual for just the plain CZ75 is just a little different when it comes down to the decock on that. So, with that in mind, if I can just pull up my... Okay, so, real quick, one of the items was to make sure there's no ammunition in the area. I chose to use my kitchen. A, the lighting is a little bit better in here, and then B, I have absolutely no ammunition anywhere in this downstairs area of mine, if you want to call it, that I'm shooting this in the kitchen. All right, so basically, when you have a firearm that you're going to field strip, obviously safety is paramount. You want to make sure that the gun is unloaded. I have here a firearm that has a magazine in it and the slide closed. So one would assume that it's loaded, like you would assume all guns are loaded. So the way to clear this particular firearm, like my other video, is you're going to pick it up, right? Keep your finger off the trigger guard, out of the trigger guard, and off of the trigger. You're going to point it in a safe direction. There is nobody over here, nothing. There's woods over here. You're going to detach or remove the magazine, inspect the magazine. It's clear. Okay. I'm going to pull the slide back and lock it back, and I'm going to just tilt it over, and I'm going to put it into my workspace and point it down, and I'm going to visually inspect in. I'm going to put my finger in, check the mag well, and it is empty. Okay, so now the CZs are an interesting firearm in the sense when you're field stripping them. All right, I'm just going to let that go. I'm going to decock it with the decocker that's on it. Okay, on the rear of the gun, behind the decock, there is a small line or mark. And there's another small line mark on the side. Now, in order to get this slide off of the frame, you have to line these two up. And the way that you line them up is unfortunately, you have to put your thumb in the trigger guard and pull it back so that they line up. And it recommends the base of the magazine, and then you push through on the slide stop. And you let it go. Now, I have taken this apart a few times, and one of the things that I noticed with this, as I'm pulling it off, you can see, this, it's not a captured spring, so it likes to pop out, and it makes it difficult actually when you put it back together. But you want to remove the spring and recoil rod out of its little pocket there, okay? And then you're going to pull the barrel out. All right, and so now you have a field strip. Well, you can obviously take the magazine apart, but I don't think it's part of the assignment. So now you have a field stripped firearm. As you can see, it's actually clean. I actually do try to keep my firearms clean. Anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and put it back together real quick. Now, one of the interesting things about this gun is it's got the locking lugs on the top of the barrel. And you gotta kind of line it up. There it goes, sits in. I did not remove the recoil spring from it, but you can. Now, you have to be able to put this recoil spring and the recoil rod in there and capture it underneath of that lug, or behind, or it depends on how you're looking at it, behind it or in front of it. Then you're going to take your slide and frame. Now CZs are very interesting, and one of the reasons why I actually like CZs is that they have full length slide rails. And you have to line it up, and you're going to have to put it back in. And I keep my fingers over that spring so it doesn't come flying off. All right, and so then you're going to do the same thing as that what you had done in the beginning. I'm going to pull the decock down so you can see the, well, you may not be able to see it on the camera. I'm going to line it up, all right, and then I'm going to be putting this back through the firearm. Make sure it's lined up. It's got to be lined up. There you go, boom, lined up exactly. Now I'm going to carefully take my thumb out, and obviously once you've field stripped a gun and then you've put it back together with the gun facing in a good direction, safe direction, you want to make sure that it actually functions. So you're function testing it, moving the slide back and forth. Now again, this is being cocked from that action, and I'm going to decock it. Okay, so that's my presentation on the CZ75, field stripping it and then putting it back together. Thank you.